We're going to start off right away with a little video clip. This one comes out of Congress. It shows you the pro-terrorist Hamas, pro-Hamas people, the sympathizers in this country who would like to see terrorism run wild. They are taking over the rotunda inside Congress. Play the video, Ryan. Benjamin Netanyahu is the prime minister of Israel. That's not news for you. You should know that. If you don't, you need to get your head out of the sand. Going back in October, there was this horrific day. In fact, it's the sort of day that I expect will happen in America. I've been predicting it now for got to be 10, 15 years. And I think we're probably on the doorstep of it happening. But a bunch of terrorists, anti-American, anti-Israeli terrorists, pro-Islamic terrorists, took one of the most surprise visits ever made onto Israel soil, and they wound up killing people, lots of people, elderly people, children, women. The videos speak for themselves, even though you will have some of the most disgusting people in this country tell you that the videos are cheap fakes. I guess they're fakes just like Joe Biden's cheap fake videos. It was a terror attack. And our country has always, up until the Biden administration, stood tall against terror. We did not negotiate with terrorists. We did not give in to their demands. And we certainly wouldn't turn a blind eye to one of our greatest allies in Israel after they were attacked. Imagine yourself being Benjamin Netanyahu. You're the prime minister of Israel. And all you're trying to do on a daily basis is to keep your country alive. Think about it. Here in the United States, we try to figure out how to get our economy going. Is the stock market going to go? How are we going to secure the border? They're just trying to stay alive. They are the bullseye in the middle, and they are surrounded by Islamic extremists who want to eviscerate them. Like if you were to say to an Islamic extremist, we will give you right now a bomb, you could light it off and just kill all the innocent people of Israel. They're not doing anything to you, but you could kill them all. Every single one of them would say, give me the code, I'll light off the bomb. That's how insane they are. They just cannot allow people to live free. And that is basically what terrorism is. Somehow along the way, we let Barack Obama change everything in this nation. If you are wondering how it is that we arrived here, it's not a mystery for people like me. It dates back to Barack Obama. He told us time and again, and we ignored it, that he was going to fundamentally transform the United States of America. Those are probably the most powerful words ever spoken by a president. The only ones that maybe a little bit stronger was, those of Kennedy. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Those days are long over. The majority of the people in this country all feel as if they deserve something. They're entitled to it. We've gotten soft. 9/11s, we get a terror attack, if there's another school shooting, who cares? It's just part of the daily routine. It will never happen to me. That's the mentality in the United States. Barack Obama has started this crazy army. People who used to have their heads about them became headless in terms of having no brain. Barack Obama flew billions of dollars in cash on pallets to the Iranians. Joe Biden gave billions of dollars in terms of releasing them from sanctioned money, $6 billion in exchange for Iranian-born U.S. citizens. Makes absolutely no sense. So not only are we going to negotiate with the terrorists, not only are we going to pay their demands, but we're going to do it for people who are actually born in Iran. I'm telling you, you can take the greatest script writers in Hollywood, try to put them together in a room and say, make me the most absurd movie that nobody would ever believe, and they wouldn't come up with this stuff. So Benjamin Netanyahu who has now for almost a year been trying to defend his country against complete evisceration. And I don't care what you think about the Jews. I don't care if you like Israel or you don't like Israel. You know and I know no country deserves to be wiped off the face of the earth, with maybe the exception of Iran and North Korea. But even that, there are innocent people there. You can't just hold an entire country hostage because of a few bad actors at the top. So Benjamin Netanyahu, who has relied on this country for financial aid, for weaponry, and just general support, like walking into a place where you know everybody wants to beat you up, but it's okay because you got a 6'5" bodyguard. You sort of feel protected. And oh, by the way, he's got an AR-15. Benjamin Netanyahu just came here to the United States again. He's going to be the first foreign leader to ever address Congress for 4 times. This is his 4th time today. He got off the airplane and was basically met by the janitors. That's what the equivalent was. Harris wasn't there. Biden wasn't there. Blinken wasn't there. None of them were there to see and say hello to him, to greet him. It was the freaking C team, the D team, the janitorial staff dressed in suits. Think about that before. Think about in your own life when you have been ignored, when you have been treated like a second-class citizen, when you've been treated like, oh, we wish you weren't here, but okay. Think about your own kid. When your kid comes home and says, Mom, nobody invited me to the party. That's the way Benjamin Netanyahu feels. Coming to America, knowing the fact that his country is in its worst position ever in its history, and he gets off the plane and he's being greeted by the janitorial staff. To make matters worse, when he addresses Congress today, there are going to be people from the left who are basically going to protest. It's no different than the maniacs I just showed you at the beginning of this podcast. They are going to protest Benjamin Netanyahu by not showing up. Ilhan Omar. I mean, Dennis has the list of people. When you're ready for the list, Dennis, read it out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Kamala, Bernie Sanders, Dick Durbin, Elizabeth Warren, as you said, Ilhan Omar, and Rashida Tlaib, and AOC.
Just to name a few.
Just a few.
So these people aren't going to be there today. They're going to basically give the middle finger to all of Israel, to Benjamin Netanyahu, and they're going to wind up getting the fist pump, the fight to the Islamic terrorists who are out there, to the people who are burning down our colleges and burning down our cities in the name of Hamas. I have told you, if you've followed me for a long time, you understand why I get passionate about this. I have been bullseye accurate. Barack Obama has always been in favor of the Muslim world. He has told us that he's always going to side with them. Now, he'll head fake it in the same way that he's not officially endorsing Kamala Harris, but basically puppeting the whole thing behind the scenes just to give you the head fake. He wants to see 2 things eviscerated. He wants to see Trump gone, and he wants to see Israel gone. Now, I'm not suggesting by any stretch of the imagination that Barack Obama called a hit on Trump via Crooks or whatever the hell his name is, nor am I saying that he would want to see Israel wiped off the face of the earth. It's not that kind of rid of them. It's to make them irrelevant, to get them out of the storyline. You can rest assured that Donald J. Trump will be sent to prison come September when he is back in front of Kangaroo Court, Captain Kangaroo himself, Judge Merchan. He is the last line of defense from a Trump victory. Once he gets rid of Trump, Obama then focuses in on Israel. The days of us supporting him, Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli people, are over. If you are a Jewish person listening to this and you have the audacity to pull the lever for a Democrat, you are not one of your own. You are not one of your own. You are actually participating. You are a co-conspirator in trying to rid of your own nation state. The Islamic world has a very, very solid plan. That plan is to take over the United States from within. This is not a guess on my part. It is actually doctrine. It was actually discovered by the FBI in the early 2000s. It was written by the Muslim Brotherhood. And everything that has taken place since then has been right in line with their plan. When would you ever have thought that you would see pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas eruptions in this country? When? It's been happening nonstop. Nobody's getting in trouble for it, and it's going to keep on keeping on. In fact, I just told you yesterday or the day before that a popular governor from Pennsylvania, Governor Shapiro, which that's a Jewish last name. He's a Jew. He won't even be considered for Harris's running mate because he's a Jew. Think about that. Think about that. So what it all comes down to is that Obama will ensure that Harris, if she wins the election, will make it so this way the Islamic world is in power and the Israelis are done. And here's what I wrote in the Great American Newsletter today. And if you don't have the Great American Newsletter, you're making yourself a huge mistake. Go to greatamericannewsletter.com and register for free. You'll get it every day in your inbox. What I see happening, if it is going to be that Trump will be removed one way or another, whether it's through cheating or through Merchan or another attempt of his life, if Harris does indeed pull out the miracle on November 5, the magic act in the middle of the night, you mark my word what happens. The relationship between the United States of America and Israel will be over. Israel will have no choice but to turn to China because it needs a major superpower in order for it to stay alive. And when China starts getting in bed with Israel, which it will do it for A, reasons of stabbing the United States in the heart once and for all, saying they don't stick by their allies. They are a nation that is no longer number one. They will do it also because China has no love, has no affinity for the Muslim world. And that's putting it politely. And remember, China is looking to do the same thing to the United States as the Muslim Brotherhood. They are looking to take America over from the inside. And so there will be a clash eventually if we allow it to happen. The Muslim world versus the Chinese. That will be the next super war you're looking at. So China will have every reason to get involved and to step in as the big brother for Israel. And we will be sitting off to the side trying to make relationships with Iran, the same country that burns our flag and calls death to America. Make no mistake about it. Long term, the Democrats will make it appear as if Iran is our greatest friend, and that will be the end of your country. This is a dire warning. The flames are flaming. Yeah, the story sounds a bit elaborate, but connect the dots going backward and tell me one place where I got it wrong. A lot of times you can't look into the future and see what's coming unless you look back in the past and see what has been. And that's what I've done here this morning. You've got a choice. I know I sound a little bit like Kamala Harris.
I was saying unburdened by what
Yeah, don't be unburdened by what was, and what was a burden. But regardless of the fact, you watch what starts to unfold. So far, I've called everything correctly. And by Benjamin Netanyahu not being treated with the respect he deserves today, the writing is on the wall. Trump will meet with him tonight at Mar-a-Lago, but it may be just a little too little. And I guarantee you, Benjamin Netanyahu goes home to Israel and tells his people that he is very concerned about the future of the United States of America. I hope I'm wrong, but everything indicates the fact that I'm right.